Us now is the Democratic congressman live from the DNC. Glenn Ivey is a Democrat from the state of Maryland. Congressman, thanks for being back with us here on the Hill tonight. What do you expect the relationship between Barack Obama and Kamala Harris to be like going forward? How much influence is he going to have potentially on her, or none at all?
Well, I think former President Obama is going to continue to be a strong voice in the Democratic Party, but he's been very careful about asserting his influence and getting publicly involved in politics, and I think he'll stay on that track. You're going to have a great speech from him tonight, but I'm not expecting him to be doing much more than, sort of helping her campaign at maybe big rallies and the like. I don't think he's going to be getting involved in politics more than he has previously.
All right, let me ask you about a couple big issues here: taxes, and then the big story out of the New York Times moments ago. Harris wants to raise the corporate tax rate back up to 28%. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says for every 1%, you basically bring in $100 billion more. And here was their assessment as to what that does. They say, quote, because the corporate tax rate reduces capital investment in the U.S., it reduces workers' productivity and wages relative to what they otherwise would be, meaning that at least some portion of the economic burden of the tax over the long term falls on the workers. If the economy is as good as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris say it is, why mess with it?
Couple of reasons. One is that the Trump tax cut actually benefited, as you've heard from Bernie Sanders and others, the billionaires and millionaires more so than it did for regular people.
Well,
so
I think that's where some folks would say, wait a minute. Well, I think that's where some folks, Congressman, would say, wait a minute, I don't want Bernie Sanders.
Well, fair enough. But the impact of that cut is there. It actually benefited people who make certainly more than $400,000, which is where the Biden administration drew the line. So they're talking about the expiration of the Trump tax cut, and I think that makes sense. Now, there will be other additional cuts that come in targeted ways, I think, to help with, for example, small businesses, people with the child care tax credit and the like, but trying to help more people in the middle class than the very higher income brackets.
Congressman, you're on the Homeland Security Committee. If I may, real quick before we head to break here, story in the New York Times right now. Biden approves secret nuclear strategy refocusing on the Chinese threat. They say, quote, the shift comes as the Pentagon believes China's stockpiles will rival the size of Russia's over the next decade. Is this where we are heading in your view?
Well, I think we have to be very careful about nuclear expansion from China, as well as other types of conventional threats from China as well, and also nuclear proliferation. I know Iran is another concern that we have as well. It's important for the Biden administration, and I think the next administration, I hope will be the Harris administration, to try and make sure we rein that in. Now, as we look at how Trump deals with President Xi and President Putin, I think there's cause for concern to think that he would be a strong force in reining in nuclear activity with respect to Russia and China. I'd prefer to have Harris in charge on that issue.
Congressman Ivey, we always could spend more time with you, but we got to leave it there as we head to break. Enjoy Chicago. We'll be back. Thank you, sir, for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.